wire Mongolian win takes the 72nd running of the Manitoba Derby. And welcome everybody to ASD Live, our special Breeders' Cup edition. Myself, Marshall, and Stretch are going to go over the Breeders' Cup's races over the 2 days. We have the babies, 5 races on Friday, and then 9 races are going to take place on Saturday, all taking place at Keeneland. Well, guys, this is one of the most exciting weekends of the year, at least for us in the horse racing world. Marshall, what's your take on the Breeders' Cup?
Yeah, the Breeders' Cup is my favorite time of year as a horse player. Let me take this off, actually. The Breeders' Cup is by far my favorite time of year as a horse player. Stretch and I had the good fortune of being at Santa Anita for last year's Breeders' Cup. This year, there will be limited fans in the stands at Keeneland, but I just want to say that it's a real credit to all the participants in the industry, both in North America and in Europe, for making this happen. I didn't think there would be a Breeders' Cup at points during the season, and it's great that it's happening, and it's fabulous that there's such a large Euro contingent coming from across the pond as well. A couple of general thoughts and approaches that I like to take when handicapping the Breeders' Cup races. For starters, there are 14 races over 2 days, like you just mentioned, Kurt, and that means you got to pace yourself. You can't have a best bet in every race, so you want to basically take your best bets and then sort of build some other plays around them. There's tons of value to be had in these races because of the large fields and all the money in the pools. So make sure when you're betting on a horse or you're making picks that you're getting value, because it's definitely a great opportunity this weekend to hit a big score. Ignore the hype. Do your own research. Don't listen to what the media is telling you about the can't lose horse or the now horse, the it horse, whatever kind of terminology they're using. Some other general rules that I like to play by. I like to play the Euros predominantly on the turf, and I like to play the North American horses on the dirt. Last year, the Euros actually had a really poor performance in California. They've typically not done as well in California at Del Mar and Santa Anita because of the firmer ground there, but they've typically done well in Kentucky. So I think we're going to see a big Euro push this year, and a lot of my bets are structured around the Euros winning and doing well in the turf races. The forecast at this point for the weekend looks great. Should be sunny and 20 degrees Celsius both days, so fast and firm. I think it'll be a great 2 days of racing, guys.
Okay, over to you, Stretch.
All right, Kurt, we've learned something. Just always let me go first so then we can split the time. Lots of good information there, Marshall. Appreciate that. Yes, we were lucky enough to be at Santa Anita. I look forward to this weekend. As you can see, Marshall does too. In the past, we've done some workshops, and we're lucky enough to now have Kurt involved in this, so that's exciting. Just one thing of note, obviously this is live on Wednesday. Things happen as it goes, so we're basing it on what the program is right now, so be aware of any potential changes or weather changes. We've got lots to discuss. Maybe grab your pen, get your paper ready. Kurt, what do you got to add?
Well, I really like betting on the Breeders' Cup. It's such a hodgepodge of horses, and the top riders are there, so you can't just grab the leading rider, say I'm going to bet on him, because the leading rider from every racetrack is over there, and any of them can accomplish the feat of getting to the winner's circle. So it's just going to be absolute fun. Programs are going to be thrown, ripped, tossed, but hopefully cash is going to fall down from the heavens. But Marshall, we're going to start it off here in the Breeders' Cup with the juvenile turf sprint. They're going to go 5.5 furlongs. Marshall, who do you like?
Okay, well, I just said I like to bet Euros on the turf, so I'm going to practice what I preach here. I'm going to go right to number 6. You better believe it. I think this is the best Euro chance in here. I like the sire Kodiak. He's turned out to produce a number of solid turf sprinters so far. The horse is 3 for 5 lifetime, and that last prep at Doncaster has turned out to be one of the best turf sprints in Europe this past season. So the 6 on top, 20-1 morning line. Having said that, I will mention that the Euros haven't done all that great in this race, and that's in large part because they don't spend as much time working with their 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds rather, out of 2-year-olds rather, out of the gate. So the North American horses, trainers do spend a lot of time focusing on the start of the race, and typically the horses that have done well in this have gone gate to wire, and they've been North American horses. But I do think that the 6, you better believe it, can turn the tables. The 14, Golden Pal, this horse is likely the post-time favorite in here. Wesley Ward has done well. He had the winner in this race last year. He does really well with young sprinters. He's got a couple in here that are likely contenders. The breeding on this horse is fabulous. Uncle Mo, Lady Shipman. The speed figure in his last race is by far the best in the field. Problem for me is he's on the outside, wide on the 14 hole, and could get caught out in a bit of a duel. If he makes the lead on his own, he'll be very tough. Then I use the 8 horse, another Wesley Ward horse for third, Amanzi Yimpilo. I'm probably butchering that name. The 8 horse regardless. 6, 14, 8 for me to kick things off, guys.
Okay, what about you, Stretch?
Okay, a couple things. If you're trying to watch, as you know, we watch replays. If you're trying to watch replays of the Europeans, you can actually just go to YouTube, type in the stake race, and it pops up. So I've watched most of the races from that. It's quite easy to do rather than trying to find anything. So I haven't seen one that missed yet. So check out Marshall's horse there for sure, and some of our other picks. As Marshall also said in the pre-thing, we want to run the race. It's still race shape. Don't always just, all these horses are good horses. So just, they've got to match up well in the race to set up for them. So don't just because they're perfect, they've got to understand they got the right race shape. In this race, 14 would have been my top pick until it got post 14. This horse on paper is the best horse, I think. I just don't trust the post 14. So I had to find something else and go from there. I decided to go with the 5 horse. I think, I know it did lose to the 10 last time, but the 10 got loose. I think there's a potential duel, or at least the 10 will try to keep up to the 14. That sets it up for the 5. Hopefully closing late. I'm going to get a price for sure. So that's where I started with that one. 9 could have been my top pick. I liked his last race. If you watch the replay, gets stuck on the rail, shuffled back, and comes out and makes a nice close on the rail, on the outside, gaining ground with each stride. I think the horse is improving. So if the speed backs up, which I think potentially it can in here, you got to watch from there. Like I said, 14, 8 and 9. Also agree on the or the 8. I'm sorry, could have been there. One other long shot is the 11. I kind of like the cut back, showed speed going a mile, cuts back to the 5.5. That's kind of my price. So I've got it 5, 9, 11, 14, or right around that.
Yeah, I went to number 4, Golden Pal. I think this horse will clear in here. There is other speed, no doubt about it. The 11 horse has speed, the 10, the 7, the 1, the 4, but nobody has really, really good speed except for Golden Pal. Sure, it's post position number 14, starts on the far outside, but I think after 3/8 of a mile, might be in a duel with one other horse to his inside, but this horse just keeps on running. Had a couple of good second place finishes to start it off, ran second in the maiden allowance race, then went over to Great Britain, Ascot in a grade 2, ran a great race, only denied by a neck in a 12-horse field, then went back to Saratoga, didn't go in a maiden race, went in a stake. What did it do? To the front, wire to wire. Great time, great speed, unchallenged. I think this horse is on the upswing. This is a horse we're going to hear from for years to come. This is my top selection with him. I put number 13, second in July. Yes, on the outside also. This horse is also on the upswing. Back-to-back winners and ran impressively after breaking the maiden in a stalking roll. Just a length off it. Then sat mid-pack and made a nice run down the lane to get the win. This horse is improving. going, and I think will fit very well in here with the other speed that I think is going to be just behind Golden Pal. It'll set up for one of those mid-pack horses to come and get the pieces. So I like him in there, and I also like Stretch's pick, number 9, After 5. Another horse that's done no wrong. Still a maiden in here after 2 second-place finishes, but has ran 2 dynamite races. So those are my 3, 14, 13, and 9. Marshall, what's your bet of the race?
Well, I'll tell you what my bet is, but before I do that, I want to ask you guys some trivia. You just mentioned, like, you both have picked number 9, After 5, as a contender in here, a possible winner, and you just mentioned that he's a maiden. So I want to ask you: has a maiden ever won a Breeders' Cup race? Does either one of you know the answer?
I could guess, but do I know it? No.
Stretch?
I'm gonna go yes.
Okay.
The maiden. I'm gonna go with potentially. It was a 2-year-old a couple years ago.
You are bang on, sir. It was Good Magic, the only maiden to have won a Breeders' Cup race.
And I selected that one, so I can select this one.
Very good.
Stats Marshall at it again.
Stats Marshall comes out.
Okay, so you guys mentioned the 9, so I had to look that up when I saw you guys both had them. So my bet for this race, I talked about the Euros. I'm going to put $20 win place on the 6 horse in here, 20-1 morning line. So bombs away in the first Breeders' Cup race of the day.
All right, what about you, Stretch?
Whoa, all right, I like it. Why not open up big? I've got an exacta wheel, taking not really a chance, kind of a slow start. I'm pacing myself on this one. It's going to be 5 and 9 on top with the 5, 9, 11, 14. Marshall's high on the 6. Maybe I'll have to throw in the 6 underneath, but I'll leave it at 5, 9 with 5, 9, 11, 14.
Yeah, we got a lot of the same horses, Stretch, but I went the 14 on top. I got Golden Pal with the 4, 5, 9, 13 for second and third. I'm taking a $2 wheel. That'll cost $24. Good luck with the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Next up, race number 7, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. They're going to test 1 mile, and Stretch, you're going to tell us who you like.
Okay, so basically about 80% of the winners here, the research I've done, are from Europe, are the Europeans in this race. As mentioned, don't forget to check your replays. You can't usually catch them on HPI if they've run overseas, so you want to don't just discount them because you haven't watched the replay. I should go with the Euro in here. The only reason I'm not going to go with the Euro is because the 6 horse looked so impressive last time that I'm guessing a little bit on the Euros. I don't have to guess on the 6. An impressive middle move and kept coming. Knows the track. Has won at Keeneland. I know the last quarter wasn't the fastest kick, but I thought the key was the middle move on how impressive that was. So I just could not leave out this horse. And then now I'll go to the Euros, and because it is a bit of a guess, I do like the 6. The 2 is my Euro in here. Morning line 12-1. I did watch the replay. Has the nice turn of foot. And I just I think how the trainers set this up. It's a right time for this horse to may have another top effort. And so you've got I don't know the trainers well enough overseas, but this is not an Aidan O'Brien that will get overbet. And so therefore, North America players may not know this trainer as well. So there's that 12-1. I think from there, you're going from some pace to run at, and that would be the 4. And I think the horse should improve from there. I know it didn't win last time, but it's now the 3rd start. Should again improve, getting the 8-1 morning line. And go from there. Couldn't leave out again the 9 horse Battleground. Could have been higher up in my selections. It is an Aidan O'Brien horse, and as you mentioned, Marshall's mentioned the Euros do well in Kentucky. Not going to leave it out. Should sit close to the pace. Might have the wide trip, but can certainly overcome that. I've got the 6, 2, 4, 9.
Okay, what about you, Marshall?
Okay, well, Stretch touched on this when he first started talking about the race. 8 of the last 13 winners have been Euros. O'Brien has won this race 4 times. So I think that for me is a good starting point. I've gone all Euros in here. Glenn just mentioned Battleground. That's not my top choice. In fact, I'm going to play against this horse. If I was going to pick a winner based on pedigree, by far Battleground towers above this field. Oh, sired by Warfront, by Found. I mean, this is an incredible pedigree, but the horse is going to offer very little value. I think this horse will probably be overbet. Is the current favorite right now overseas for the race. The main negative for me is the horse has been off since July, and I'd rather have a horse that has a little more recency in his form. So for me, the top Euro is the 5 Cadillac. Some of these prep races that the horse has run essentially stand out to me. The horse has won twice on left-handed tracks. So keep in mind the Euros, they race right-handed, all different configurations. Right-handed at a mile, left-handed at a mile, and they race on straightaways, predominantly at a mile. So what I really like is this horse has won twice, big wins both time, going left-handed, and based on what I've been reading about, this horse should prefer firmer ground than, say, some of the other Euros, like a horse that's going to take money, Seal Away. The one horse has the most wins, has the most money won in the field, but this horse prefers softer ground. Apparently, best comment I've read in a long time, the last race the horse won, you see the HY heavy designation on that Longchamp race. Apparently, it was referred to as a plowed field that was essentially a bog. So this horse loves, apparently, soft ground. Not going to get it today, so I've left off Seal Away as well. My second Euro in here is New Mandate. Frankie Dettori aboard. This guy knows North American tracks. This horse is 3 for 5, apparently prepping excellent, and they've been focusing towards this race. So a horse I'm definitely using. I'm going to close things off with the 12. That's also a European, Go Atletico, has raced against Seal Away a couple of times and beaten that horse. I think this is one of the contenders as well. So for me, Kurt, 5-2-12, all yours.
Yeah, I'm going with Stretch here, though. Musabek, watch a replay on that one. This horse was dead last, sitting on the rail, switched to the outside halfway through the turn, and then down the lane when asked. This horse absolutely exploded to go by, catch the leader, and then draw off to win rather easily. That was the first time the horse was on the turf. And with that being so impressive, that was just visually impressive to me. I really like a horse that runs a big race coming into it, went from the dirt, which it ran okay, broke the maiden, and then ran a lackluster third. But that turf race just stood right out, and I love that it was at Keeneland, so he knows the course. So I'm going to kind of key this one in my wagers, but I also like number 9 Battleground. Aidan O'Brien, you said it all, Marshall, 4-time winner of this race. This horse already has won back-to-back races, and I like the comments that ran on, kept on, so the horse was finishing really well in the end. So I think this horse, low price, but definitely one of the contenders. And Outador, I think, is a nice long shot to throw in here. This horse back-to-back wins. Ortiz was on, and this horse has run great. Yes, it's coming out of sprint races and stretching out for the first time. That is the only question mark, but I like that this horse kept edging away, has tactical speed. There isn't a pile of speed in this race. There's a few horses that kind of like going there, but not all the time. This one looks like it will be a part of the front end, and because of that, it could be the speed of the speed. So watch out. Outador just might be the one to steal it. So I'm going with 6, 9, and 8. Stretch, who's your bet in here?
Okay, I just did an exactor box, kind of uncertainties. I've got the $3 exactor box, 2, 4, 6, and 9, and we've got the pick 4s coming up, but we'll come back to that.
All right, what about you, Marshall?
I'm going to box my 3 horses so in an exactor, so give me a $5 exacta box, 2, 5, and 12.
And me, I'm going with an exactor also. I'm going with an exactor wheel. I'm taking the 6 with the 5, 8, 9, and then reversing the order, taking the 5, 8, 9 on top with the 6 for 7 for second. Another $5 wheel, cost you $30. Good luck with the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. On to race number 8, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. They're going to go a mile and a 16th on the dirt, a field of 7 of these 2-year-old fillies. Marshall, who do you like in this one?
Well, this is a very compact field, but I think a very competitive field, and should be a good race. There is a favorite in here that I'm going to play against, or a likely favorite in here that I'm going to play against, and that's the 7 Princess Noor, the Bob Baffert horse. To me, the horses that are coming from California this year, the racing there just hasn't been the same this year in terms of quality and competitiveness. And the speed figures, to me, tell the tale here. They are considerably lower than the other contenders in here. And I just don't think that this horse is as good as the 3-for-3 record could tell you. So again, play against the 7 for me. How am I going to beat her? Well, I'm going to take the 3, Day Out of the Office. I love this horse's last race. I think this horse is the speed of the race. I will say that the horse has never gone 2 turns. There's a bunch of horses in here that have never gone 2 turns. That mile at Belmont is just a one-turn race. But I don't think that matters. This horse is going to be on the lead, and I think this horse will get the distance, no problem. So I like the 3 on top. I use the horse, the 2-horse Vequist. It's second. Again, this horse couldn't beat the 3 last time. Came to her and then just saw Day at the Office take off. So I don't think she can turn the tables on her today, but I do think she can run second. And then I use the 1 Simply Ravishing. I think this horse will be well bet. May go off as the favorite also. This horse has done no wrong too. 3-for-3, had a big run at Keeneland last out. I do think this horse is competitive. 3-2-1 though in this version of the Juvenile Fillies. Kurt?
Okay, what about you, Stretch?
Okay, a lot of less unknowns. We kind of know what all the horses, we've seen them run in North America, and I can do my figures on all of them, so that really helps me when I can compare figures. And based on that, for me, the 1's figures are ahead of everybody else in here by a bunch of points. If you watch the race, this horse doesn't need to go to the lead. He just was so much the best, just galloped to the lead and nobody came close. Won at Keeneland already. I like that. And so that's a big angle, as Marshall mentioned, about the 2 turns. This has the 2 turns. Should just sit just off and circle. It is my top play of the day on Friday. And then my next choice, Marshall made some points against the 7, and I can't disagree with that. My figures are decent on the 7. The horse doesn't, again, need the lead. I like that the horse was kind of stuck on the rail a bit in a kind of a tough spot. And then got out and then just took off. It wasn't as tough a field as the 1 raced against. That's why I got it second. The other one is the 5. This horse, a bit of a troubled trip a few times. There are some figures if there's a potential duel, if this horse sits back and let's say the 1, 3, and 7 go potentially. I don't necessarily see it, but that's how an upset could come out, and you're going to get a price from there. And basically, if the 1 horse came out of such a big race in the big figures, maybe as a long shot is the 6 if the others are not, don't improve. Got it 175, need a longer shot, take the 6.
See, I'm along with Marshall here. Day Out of the Office. Wow, this horse ran. I really liked that race last time out. This is a horse that does have speed, but was able to relax in behind that speed and then just carry on and draw off easily to win by 2 lengths. In the previous start, that was just a cakewalk, winning by 9 at Saratoga. And I think Day Out of the Office, as Marshall said, there really isn't a lot of speed in here. I think this horse will go to the front end, and I think the speed controlling will be everything in here. Simply Ravishing could go to the front also, and if they do, the 2 of them could battle it out and set it up for someone else. But I just don't see that happening. I think Saez is just going to sit back and say, all right, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to sit a length back. He's going to take that rail position, sit right in behind. But Day Out of the Office, I think this horse is just so good. And with that rating ability, if they let him do get loose, I think he's long gone. And this is my best bet to counter yours in the same race stretch. And I think this horse definitely big possibilities. I love Simply Ravishing to get a piece of it also. And Girl Daddy, this horse has done no wrong. 2 really good races back to back. Beat Crazy Beautiful, who went off as the favorite against Simply Ravishing last time out, and Girl Daddy beat it convincingly. This horse won't be too far away, makes a nice middle move, so is another one maybe with an upset shot to get it. Princess Noor, same thing. I kind of left it out. I thought it was easier fields that she ran against to beat them up, but I'm taking 3, 5, and 1. Marshall, what's your bet of the race?
Well, I'm going to box my top 3 choices in here. Another exacta box, so $5 exacta box, 3, 2, 1.
All right, over to you, Stretch.
All right, I'm stepping it up here. A rare $20 exactor wheel. Yes, $20, Kurt. I'm trying to pull a Kurt.
All right.
1 with 5, 6, 7.
Okay, and myself, I'm just going straight up win. 30 to win on number 3, Day Out of the Office. As that is my play of the day, I'm just going to try and ride the win money in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. On to race number 9, the Juvenile Fillies Turf, tackling the 1 mile distance. Field of 14 sent postward, and Stretch, who do you like?
All right, 14 horses. I have a feeling Kurt might have a 13-14 coming in here. All right, here we go.
We'll see.
We will see. We'll be watching. We've got €5 in here, which makes it very tricky for me. I like to use, as you know, my numbers and stuff. So I don't get fractional times when I'm watching the replay. So it makes it very difficult for me to judge. So it's just got to be an eye test. So basically, that's why I didn't see enough in the Euros to actually jump off the page at me. A couple stats. I'm going to pull a stats Marshall here. 10 of the last 12 races, it's been a U.S. based horse or / North American horse that has won. If you're looking at California bred horses, they have never won this in the last 12 years and have only been in the top 3-4 times. So better find some value if you're taking one of those. As you know, when I use stats, it means I'm searching for something, trying to eliminate some horses. So when this happens, I got to really look for value, and that's what I'm doing, is looking for value on the 3 horse at 12 to 1. And basically seems to be getting better with each start. Should get a trip. It just kind of sets up for me for this horse. I'm struggling with this race, so I've got the 3 on top. 4 could have been my top pick, but the closing fractions are just not as fast as the 3, so I do like that final kick. So I've got a 3 and 4. 5 and 10 do have the figures. I just don't think the race shape sets it up for them. Can't leave them out because they do have the figures on there that potentially could win if they manage to get the right trip. That's all I've got really on this one. So I've got a 3, 4, 5, and the 10.
Okay, what about you, Stretch? Or Marshall, sorry.
So this is a race, a turf race, where I'm actually not going to take a Euro on top. Stretch obviously started out by informing us why that's a good idea to play against the Euros in here. So the Americans have dominated this race, and Aidan O'Brien is 0 for 14 in this race. So those are a couple of stats that tell me to look elsewhere. In the past couple of years, we've had North American superstars like Lady Eli, newspaper of record, have come into this race as big faves, and they've won. This year, I think Ant Pearl is going to be the favorite, or one of the top favorites in here. The horse has done no wrong, has great closing numbers. Brad Cox has 3 Breeders' Cup wins to his credit. I think we'll see him get a couple of Breeders' Cup wins over the 2 days this year. So for sure, the 5 is my top choice. A couple points about some of the Europeans. Campanelle, the 10, this horse is going to take money, is the current betting favorite actually overseas. From what I've read, this horse has a sprinter's pedigree, though, has never gone the distance. So the big question is, can she stay the mile? Not great preps, apparently, from reading some of the European analysis. And trainer Wesley Ward is 0 for 3 in this race. Limited sample size, but still 0 for 3. The horse I used in second was the 2 horse. That is, sorry.
No.
Sorry, guys. Oh, that is Miss Amulet. This is the so this is, I'm going to use the euros underneath. This is the euro that I liked, that I like the most. The horse is never raced in a mile race, but based on the preps, this horse has been racing in some really difficult races, and another negative, has never raced around turns before. They've all been straightaways, so those are negatives. But I do think, again, I'm going to get a bit of a price in here. Excellent lifetime record as well, three wins from 7 starts. So I'm going to use that horse for second, and then third, Udnadada. Should like the distance out of the Sire, Australia. I think this is another European that should do well. Does have experience and a win over a left-handed course. So in this race, Kurt, give me 5-2-1.
All right, I see a lot of pace in here, though. I see Campanelle, Royal Approval, Miss Amulet, Aunt Pearl, all showing early foot. So I think there is going to be a big battle in here, so I kind of went looking for a stalker. I really liked Aunt Pearl to start with, but then I went to number 12, Spanish Love Affair. The horse was the runner-up to Aunt Pearl, who had it absolutely all the own way on the front end and easily coasted wire to wire. Now with the other speed that's in here, I think it'll be pressured, and this horse ran absolutely big. Nobody was even close for third, and Spanish Love Affair tried early to go after, was only a length off after a half a mile, and then ended up just tiring to be beaten by 2.5 lengths. Now, with the big pace scenario, I think this horse will sit back a little bit farther and make a nice kick late down the lane. A lot of these are deep closers in here, and then you have the speed horses. So I think Spanish Love Affair, even though it's out of the 12 hole, will get a pretty good trip, be able to get on down and get positioning pretty well wherever she wants to. So I'm giving her a big shot in here at a big price. I also like the 10 horse, Campanelle. Yeah, the horse is only sprinted each and every time, but has done it very well. Came off 2 wins back to back after winning at Gulfstream and winning easily by 3 lengths. And I like stayed on strongly. I like those comments that they can give that when you don't watch the replay, that is strongly worded, meaning the horse looked really good, visually impressive. We use that a lot of times here at Assiniboia Downs on horses here, and they came back to run really well. So I think Campanelle should be able to get a little piece of it in here to get the mile distance. And I like Plum Alley also. This is a horse that is another stalker in the field. Has 3 wins in a row, undefeated, but last time out was in a perfect position. I expect him to be sitting about the same spot, the 12 and the 4, Spanish Love Affair and Plum Alley. So if that speed does back up, usually when I bet turf races, it's kind of funny. If I like a speed horse, the closers win. It's kind of the opposite for me. I like hitting the all button usually in a turf race, but I think the closer is going to get there, but it's going to be the mid-pack. So I got Spanish Love Affair with Campanelle and Plum Alley. I like those 3, 12, 10, and 4. Okay, guys, bets of the race. Let's start with you, Stretch.
Okay, so I give stats at the start, and you think I've got all the stats, and then sure enough, Marshall finds another stat, and he throws another stat in there. Hence why his nickname is Stats Marshall. I'm going to go with another exactor wheel, in fact, on this one. I'm going to put my top 2 picks on top. Another, just a $3 one. 3-4 with 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 is going to be my exactor for the 9th.
All right, what about you, Marshall?
I'm going to take a shot here and play a double wheel. My best bet of the first day at the Breeders' Cup is in the next race. So I'm going to wheel my top 3 choices in here to the 7 and hope that the Euros can maybe pull one out for me in here. So $20 double wheel, 1, 2, 5 with 7.
All right, myself, I'm going to go long shot hunting. I'm going Spanish Love Affair. I'm betting it across the board, just a flat out 10 win play show, 15-1 morning line. Try and bankroll some more money for Saturday. So good luck in the juvenile filly turf. On to race number 10, our last of the races on Friday evening. It's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. They're going 1 mile and a 16th on the dirt, 14 head postward. And Marshall, Who do you like?
Yeah, full field here, but I do think that we could potentially see the shortest price favorite in both days of Breeders' Cup races, and that's number 7, Jackie's Warrior. I'm not going to try to beat this horse. This horse has looked incredible, ascending speed figs race after race. The horse just continues to improve. Looks like a professional racehorse. I think this horse just goes right to the lead, runs them off their feet. The only negative or unknown is that the horse has never gone around 2 turns, but I do think the horse will get the lead, unless Classier, the Bob Baffert Sprinter, unless that horse decides to duel, then we obviously could see a really heated pace in here that could compromise Jackie's Warrior's chances. But I still think Jackie's Warrior, if the 8 goes to the lead, could stalk, sit off, and then just take over. I will mention Baffert's won this race 4 times, so certainly the 8 doesn't have the seasoning of some of the other horses in here, but he's got Bob Baffert in his corner. So see what happens there. I went with the 5 for second. This is the horse that has been facing Jackie's Warrior. Hasn't been able to get by. Sorry, that's Reinvestment Risk. No, that's
the 5 is Essential Quality.
Yeah, right. Sorry. There's so many horses and so many races. So Essential Quality, Brad Cox. This horse has done nothing wrong either. 2 for 2. Does have a win over Keeneland around the 2 turns. A lot of people are saying this is the only horse that can beat Jackie's Warrior. I think that this horse isn't quite up to the same level, but I will use him for second. And then the 9, Dale Roman's horse, Sitting on Go. I think this is a wise guy play in here. I keep hearing more and more about this horse. Horse is 2 for 2 as well. So you got a bunch of unbeatens in here. I don't know that we'll get them anywhere near the morning line based on all the chatter, but I used the 9 for third, so 7-5-9.
All right, over to you, Stretch.
Okay, closing out the day, I've got this race down to 2 horses. Marshall's kind of covered everything on there. 7 could have been my top pick, but I'm gonna go with the 5 as my top pick. Has gone around the 2 turns, has won at this track already. That's kind of the pluses. I'm gonna get quite a bit of value. The figures are very close to the 2 of them. I need the 7 to get a little bit of pressure for the 5 to upset. I very easily could have put the 7 as my top pick, but I put the 5 just pure value. We've talked about value all day. If the 7 gets controlling speed, they're not gonna beat them. Like I said, it's those 2, 5 and 7, 7, 5, and then there's the others. So therefore, I've decided to try to look for some value to help get the trifecta going, and that was the 13. Kurt's been on a roll on taking outside horses. Why not? I want to get involved. And so, if the 5 and 7 maybe duel a little bit, pick up some pieces, makes it pay at least, would be the other one. And the absolute bomber at 30-1 is the 6. Again, has a couple nice works at Keeneland. I do like horses that have, if they haven't at least run at Keeneland, have some works. I remember Santa Anita last year. We had some horses coming from out of town, and they didn't work at the racetrack, and they didn't do as well as expected. So if they haven't raced at Keeneland, look for some works. It seems to help a lot. 5, 7, 13, and 6.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. Jackie's Warrior, Essential Quality, those are my top 2 in here. Can't say anything about Jackie's Warrior except what a win machine. Essential Quality, same thing, but has only started twice. But this horse has loads of talent. It just, as Marshall said, is there going to be a pace battle? Yes, number 8, Classier, has some speed. And even throwing number 11 Next is another one who could add to the pace. But I like those 2. Jackie's Warrior, as Marshall said, low on the odds. So you'll see by my bet, I kind of hedged it by using both of them in my triactor, either order, just to try and get it beat, because it'll be about triple the price if it comes in. So I like 7 and 5, and I like Sitting on Go also. The horse also undefeated, 2 wins, but is a deep closer. There has to be a pace battle in there for this horse to get there, because the speed will not be stopping. It'll keep going. It's just they'll slow down a little bit. So I think you have to be in a striking distance at least to get in the top 2. But I like Sitting at Go to get a little piece. And even number 14, Calibrate. Here's a horse that last time out absolutely ran a stinker in there. I'm not sure why, after running the big first outing where the horse won by 4, But this horse now goes from being the 2-1 favorite to 20-1 on the board. With 2-year-olds, any little thing can happen. So here's another long shot to throw in, Calibrate. But I'm all over the 7-5, and I'm throwing the 9 for third. Marshall, what's your bet?
Well, I'm going to wheel the 7 on top in a try. So take a $2 try wheel, 7 with 3-5-8-9 with 3-5-8-9.
All right, and over to you, Stretch.
Okay, so just notice how Marshall took a stand on the 7. I think that's a good way to do it. You've got to take some stands somewhere, and then you can spread out, and that's his taking a stand on the 7. He's got the double and then that. In this race, I went to $5 try wheel, hoping for a little bit of an upset. 5-7 with 5-7 with the long shots, 2, 6, 9, 13.
Well, I got the same kind of bet as you do, Stretch, but I got a $2 track to wheel, 5-7, 5-7 with the 1, 3, 9, 13, and 14.
Very confident in this leg, so I stepped it up to $5, Kurt.
Way to go, Stretch. Well, good luck with all your wagers here in the Juvenile. All right, so here we are with our late pick 4s, races 7 through 10. Marshall, we're going to start with you.
Okay, so we're going to kick things off. I have a $54 ticket. I'm going to kick things off with 3 Euro horses in the first leg, so 2, 5, and 12. I feel pretty confident about that race. Going to the next race, the 8th race, the Juvenile Fillies. Again, I like this race quite a bit. I feel pretty confident with 1, 2, and 3. Third leg, well, this is a tricky leg, no question about it. If you can spread out and go deep, this is the leg to do it in, I think, on day 1. Having said that, I've narrowed it down to 3 horses. I'm using 1, 2, and 5, a couple of Euros, and then a North American horse. And then in the last race, my best bet on the Friday card is the 7 to close things off, Jackie's Warrior. But I've got a lot of stuff singled to that horse, so I'm going to diversify my interest slightly. I'm going to include the 5, the other top contender in that last race. If you want to save some money, cut it in half, make it $27. You can single the 7 in the last race.
Okay, what about you, Stretch?
Okay, so there's a few legs as mentioned I'm unsure of. I've got the 2, 4, 6, 9. I think I probably would have to add the 5. Marshall's given some good points, but I've got 2, 4, 6, 9 on there. I took a stand on the 1. That is my best bet of the day, so that's the one I'm going all in on. And then I've got a spread in the next leg of 3, 4, 5, 10, 14. And then I need both 5 and 7 in the last one. My ticket's only 40. Remember, we're doing this on Wednesday for Friday's card, and things can change, and that's where I might add some horses in there. But that's what we're going with right now. Kurt?
Myself, I went for a $48 ticket. I took 6, 8, 9 with the 3, 5. I left Stretch's best bet out with the 2, 4, 10, 12, and I rounded it out with Essential Quality and Jackie's Warrior, the 5, 7. For $48. Thank you for joining us. ASD Live special Breeders' Cup edition Friday. And please join back for our Saturday edition of the Breeders' Cup with ASD Live.